Kate Winslet, playing Agent Starling. Sounds interesting, but we already got Jodie Foster, so there's no other reasons to complain, except bring back Buffalo Bill. What a wasted opportunity here, my dude. Kate Winslet versus Buffalo Bill. That's Clash of the Titans. That's the match of the century. The show surrounds Easttown, where a workaholic detective is faced with a new murder case that might be connected to another missing girl case that she has never been able to solve. Along the way of solving this case, she also needs to learn how to properly grieve the death of her son, who committed suicide, which haunts not only her, but the entire family as well. Despite lots of talent in the show, Kate Winslet absolutely lives up to the bar as the main character. She perfectly portrays a woman who has been traumatized to a point where she just buried all her grief with lots and lots of work. In the show, she has to play multiple roles as the character has so many layers. She is not only a detective, she is also a mother, a grandmother, a mother-in-law, a lover, a boss, a daughter, an Easttown resident, and a friend. With so many roles, Kate Winslet still managed to find the perfect balance to connect all these identities through her stellar performance. The show doesn't rush into the mystery right from the get-go, but rather takes its time to introduce the characters and the town. Let the audience see how life is in Easttown, all the good, the bad, and the ugly. In the first episode, the true mystery that is going to torture the residents doesn't even happen until the very last scene. This build-up helps to make the mystery more personal and intriguing, as now the audience know every character's story and their status in the town, including the victims. This makes the audience care about the mystery, care about those who suffered, and crave the mystery to be solved so the people can have justice and peace. Through this build-up, character interactions are also able to shine, especially after the murder happens. The audience can understand their reactions on the situation and on different things that branch out from the mystery. These reactions from each character within the town community also feels extremely personal. Every time they cry, argue, comforting, frustrated, love, and be loved are all within logical expression during these tough times and have more impact on the audience. On the mystery itself, the case is very complicated, and the complicated characters involved in the show definitely don't help. The mystery, if you can believe it or not, gets even more mind-blowing and harder to solve when the lead's personal life and feelings continue to get in the way of her doing her job. The writer also smartly introduced lots of new characters that will become prime suspects around the time of the murder to keep the audience guessing who is the murderer. And the build-up from episode 1 continues to disrupt the solving process and wreak more havoc on the town as well. All of the actors play their roles convincingly, so not a single character can be surely branded as the murderer until the very end of the show. Other than grief, there are other themes that are inseparable from the show that includes preconceived notions, lies, direct communication, power abuse, sacrifice for the greater good, exploitation from others' suffering, and etc. As the story progresses further, more and more themes start to emerge and characters begin to take on multiple roles, which give them more layers and more room for the actors to play with them. These themes are all integral to the story and character dynamics, which in the end is the most memorable part of the show. The heart of the show is no doubt the feeling of grief that is haunting everyone. The lead and her family's inability to properly grieve the death of her son leads to the family being torn apart. The grief of the victim's family leads to the irrational actions that throw them further down the black hole and even overtake their senses, which leads to them making wrong decisions. The grief of the people around the victims lead to the struggle of fighting for the truth. The grief in everyone's soul that ultimately leads to those who face these feelings directly overcoming their demons and showing love and care that eventually helps to bring those who are responsible to justice and give peace back to the community. The show is full of heart and the mystery is intriguing. All of those are further amplified by the great performances from the cast, especially Kate Winslet, who nailed it as the lead. The script is brilliant as well, giving deep and personal backstory to basically every character and somehow make them all fit into the mystery, which gives an incredible experience to the audience. Various deep themes are introduced to the show through multiple characters that give them more layers. If you love a mystery that is well thought out and has great characters and dynamics that show genuine feelings, this show is definitely for you. Seriously, I have no complaints towards the show. Not a single moment is boring, everything feels important and personal. So this only left one thing that will make me more satisfied with the show. Bring back Buffalo Bill!
Move along.